Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited. Sink or swim, Icon gets June auction date. MedEvac pilot sentenced for FUI. Bell unveils ALFA testbed. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. Sink or swim, Icon gets June auction date. The judge overseeing Icon's convoluted Chapter 11 process has approved $9 million in Chapter 11 financing and set a June asset auction for the Icon A5 program, and said that objections had apparently been resolved for the moment by shareholders who claimed, not surprisingly, that Icon was being sold to an insider. Judge Craig T. Goldblatt gave final approval to Icon's debtor-in-possession financing and approved the sales schedule, but has yet to approve that previously disclosed stalking horse bidder, according to an agreement reached with those shareholders who contested the proceedings. Icon bailed out and went for Chapter 11 last month after admitting to an astounding $170 million in debt. Earlier this week, the judge approved Icon's use of $4 million of its requested $9 million debtor-in-possession loan received from Firen International Co. Limited. A number of shareholders took potshots right away at Icon's plan to sell, as well as the DIP arrangement, including one of the folks widely blamed for leading Icon into the massive issues it ultimately faced, company co-founder and former CEO Kirk Hawkins, who sued in Delaware Chancery Court claiming that Icon's majority equity holder, Shanghai Pudong Science and Technology Investment Co., was trying to piece out the company and somehow take over its intellectual property and then transfer it all to China. After the break, SkyReach reiterates parts support for Bushcat.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/rusty today for details.
For over 30 years, the massive Sport Plane Resource Guide has provided expert, credible information, evaluations, and critical analysis of all that the sport aviation world has to offer. The all-new digital Sport Plane Resource Guide is coming with extensive multimedia features that are constantly updated, an even more comprehensive online guide to all things sport aviation. Available soon. www.sportplane.com.
There's a lot of places I get to at the end of the runway or in turnarounds that I need an engine running. So for me, it's very important to have a product that I'm absolutely confident with. I am very confident with the Trailblazer propeller. And when I'm flying air shows, I know that propeller is going to be right for me.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. SkyReach reiterates part support for Bushcat. The Bushcat/Cheetah community was taken aback last month when their manufacturer decided to pull out of kit production. SkyReach claims to remain committed to supplying spare parts for the Bushcat and Cheetah fleets of over 300 aircraft. Should anyone require a quotation for any parts, please use the following email addresses depending on your aircraft's location. For all Bushcat and Cheetah aircraft based in Africa, partsafrica@fly-skyreach.com, and for all Bushcat and Cheetah aircraft based in any other continent, partsinternational@fly-skyreach.com. Piper approves new service center in France. Piper Aircraft Inc. and authorized Piper dealer Flying Smart Aero have announced the appointment of Troyes Aviation as the approved Piper service center in France. Troyes Aviation is a fully owned subsidiary of JGH SAS and the sister company of JG Aviation, the authorized Pilatus service center for France. David Fabry, dealer principal at Flying Smart, said, quote, "Flying Smart is proud to add Troyes Aviation to our established network of approved service centers covering France," end quote. NTSB to conduct hearing on Texas airliner near miss. The NTSB will hold an in-person board meeting in Washington on its investigation into the near collision of two airliners in Texas last year. On February 4, 2023, there was a loss of separation and risk of an in-flight collision when a Southwest Airlines B-737 was departing and a FedEx B-767 was on final approach to land at Austin Bergstrom International Airport. There were no injuries reported to the 128 passengers and crew aboard the Southwest airplane or to the 3 crew members aboard the FedEx plane. Airshow London wins popularity contest. In the 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards contest, Airshow London was named the, quote, best airshow in North America. The nominees for the airshow spanned a roster of selections from industry insiders and editors of the publication and 10best.com, with the daily vote running for 4 weeks to determine the faves. Airshow London was the only Canadian one on the list, making its win even more impressive against some all-American faves. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. MedEvac pilot sentenced for FUI. On April 12, 2024, the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Kentucky sentenced Morgan J. Wiljanen, former helicopter pilot for Air Evac EMS, Inc., to 8 months of incarceration, 18 months of supervised release, 4 months of home detention, and a $100 special assessment. In December 2023, Wiljanen pleaded guilty to operating an air common carrier while under the influence of alcohol. The investigation revealed that on or around March 21st, Wiljanen was under the influence of alcohol while piloting Air Evac Flight 79, an air ambulance helicopter operated by Air Evac EMS, Inc., from Corbin, Kentucky to Richmond, Kentucky. After landing, a blood alcohol test indicated Wiljanen had a .35 blood alcohol concentration. The circumstances are terrifying. Wiljanen reportedly began flying erratically en route, experienced a loss of altitude, and created concern among both the paramedic and flight nurse on the flight. At one point, the paramedic observed Wiljanen slumped over in his seat. Yelling into the intercom allegedly roused the pilot, and he executed a somewhat erratic landing at Central Kentucky Regional Airport in Richmond after being convinced to do so by his crew. After these messages, Bell unveils ALFA testbed. Welcome back. Bell unveils ALFA testbed. Bell Textron showed off its new Bell 429 testbed aircraft for the ALFA project, showing the way forward for an industry eager to advance. The program Aircraft Laboratory for Future Autonomy seems more like a nice-sounding backronym, but the end result should be the same: advanced, self-flying aircraft that can be trusted to operate with minimal human oversight. The ALFA platform will be dedicated to performing flight maneuvers and an aircraft safety system and executing autonomous fly-by-wire flights. Bell says that integration is a critical aspect of its development. If all goes well with ALFA, it will create a far better arrangement for autonomous systems, ones that separate safety functions from flight controls, allowing for, quote, rapid development and evaluation of novel flight control technology without compromising overall safety, end quote. The testbed took off from Bell's Commercial Assembly and Delivery Center in Mirabel, Canada, before heading out to the Bell Flight Research Center in Fort Worth, Texas. Jason Hurst, Executive Vice President of Engineering at Bell, said, quote, "Fly-by-wire flight, coupled with additional capability that are being integrated into ALFA, provide a great foundation for Bell to expand on its autonomous capabilities," end quote. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.